in honor of that video coming out, I am doing a Generation 1 shiny Pokemon tier list because I had to sit and look at basically every shiny Pokemon for a very long time to decide which ones were the absolute bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst. So, starting off, honestly, starts off so strong. One of the best shinies. Moltres, the only legendary bird that actually looks remotely good. Remotely good. It's high A, but depending on how the rest of these pan out, it might bump itself up to S tier. Honestly, the starters, very, very weak. I'll go up. Oh, actually, no, honestly, no. I think original Venusaur looks better. I really do. It's same deal with these. Granted, no, this is S tier. Charizard might be one of the best, if not the best shiny in the history of Pokemon. And it's crazy that they knocked it out of the park with that, but dropped the ball so hard on so many other Pokemon. These are D tier because they're starters and I feel like they should just be cooler. Shiny Blastoise is actually pretty sick. Actually, I love Butterfree as well. You just look the same. Pidgey, F tier forever and always. And Pidgeot, you're also just moderately better. The D tier is going to fill up quickly. So many of these just look worse. Ekans, I think, actually looks okay, but Arbok comes back down. Pikachu, Raichu are just so disappointing. I really like that one. It's B tier. And you'll notice the theme here with the D tier being green, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in this generation. Honestly, I love what they did with the Nidoran female line here. And then they come crashing down on Nidoqueen. It's so much worse. That's like a low C tier. Meanwhile, Nidoking, I think, is an A tier. You know what, Clefable, you've earned yourself C tier. Vulpix looks terrible, but Ninetales is S tier. It looks so good. Jigglypuff is just on principle and many other things F tier. Weedle was also almost one of the Pokemon I caught for this video. Well, that looks pretty sweet. Oddish, yep. It doesn't get much better too. I just think the original Oddish colors look better than the shiny versions. Paris, also a close contestant for that video. Venonat is up there. Venonat's really cool. Diglett, it is different but weird. Meowth actually looks a bit better, but Persian comes crashing back down. You could have put the actual version there and I would not have been able to tell the difference at all. Psyduck, one of my favorites. Your F tier. Poliwag, once again, you could just be putting the regular sprite there. I would not know the difference. The green, I'll give it, is acceptable. That's also partially because it's framed with like the first two look indistinguishable. It looks better in game, I think, at least in the newer games. And I'm a little bit biased because I just caught one the other day. I caught a Kadabra. Transfer him in. Oh. Don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble. Hell yeah, shiny Pokemon. Let's go, chat. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Alakazam brings it back a little bit. Again, one of the few where I think a green shiny works. Bellsprout, it's just like, it's a plant. I think it should look like a little bit greenish, but somehow they picked a worse green for this. This, like, change into blue there. It's a nice touch. This, one of the best. Geodude honestly doesn't look that bad. In Graveler's nice, but Golem just looks less distinguished. Then we're gonna go right back up to S tier. Fantastic shiny Pokemon. Slowpoke, F, but Slowbro, fantastic. Why didn't they make the first one purple? It's beyond me. Magnemite's a really fun one. I think it's like a solid B tier. Farfetch towards the bottom, so we'll do that. This is one where like the green just does not work. That's like what falls out of a lawnmower is that Pokemon. It's so bad. In newer games, I've seen it and it looks better, but in this, it just, that's the same thing as the original. Grimer and Muck. The green, I think it works really well. The purple is great, but I think the green works. There's another really cool one. Cloyster is gonna break into A. The newer Bright for Ghastly and Haunter are worse. They're less blue. And this looks fantastic. That is S tier. And then Gengar, what happened? You were doing so well. Onix is Crow Screen. Drowsy and Hypno, solid B tier. Kingler is like a little bit better, but I get that they had to make them all like a slightly different color, and they're working with a very limited color palette at this point. Voltorb, the blue is really, really harsh. I feel like a softer blue would have worked well. Cubone, the darker green I actually think is okay. Marowak starts to get into that same lighter green, and then just green. The color scheme is all the same for most of these Pokemon. The blue gloves is a nice enough touch that you'll get a C tier from me, but not by much. I love the switching of the clouds too. Rhyhorn looks really good. That like bronze color, I really enjoy that. I think it's B tier. Rhydon, terrible. Chansey, I think looks better in newer gens. It's worthy of a C tier in my opinion. Tangela, one of the few good green shinies. Kangaskhan, indistinguishable. Horsey's another good one. Goldeen, no different. Seaking is like a tiny bit different, but not by much. Staryu might be my favorite Gen 1 shiny. And Starmie is also just so good. Scyther's just, that's the same thing. I'm sorry. Jinx really isn't much better either. Electabuzz, still don't love the coloring of it. Magmar, I think looks pretty cool. Like that nice pink hue to it. Pinsir, really, really cool. Tauros is actually a really cool one. And you can actually tell the difference. Magikarp actually is kind of cool. And in the new gens, they've done this really well. And this one just can't be like an S tier purely because it's too common. It's still one of the best shiny designs, I think. Lapras is really, really cool. This might be an S tier. Ditto, another great one. Really went for something different here. Eevee looks really cool as well. Vaporeon, probably the only like redeeming evolution in this gen. We'll go A tier with you. And then Jolteon and Flareon are just in your face. And then the absolute opposite, like super muted. Porygon, really, really great. Love this one. These two as well. I really like that design. These are ones where actually the green I don't mind a ton. Aerodactyl, the nice purple blue combination. Snorlax is unfortunate because it really doesn't stand out a lot. Instant F tier for both these. They look just, they're legendaries. They're supposed to be some of the best, the coolest Pokemon in the game. And for some reason, they make them look the exact same. And then probably the saddest story in all of Gen 1 and a big headliner in my newest video, Dratini, S tier, right? Great, pink, looks super cool. And then you get even better, pink with gold accenting, and then you get to Dragonite. Just imagine how cool this thing is gonna be. And what do they give us instead? Green blob. It's so gross. And we went after it in the newest video. So if you wanna see that, Mewtwo, another one where like, why'd you make it green? It looks like a little bit cooler, but, and then Mew, fantastic shiny. All right, a lot of heavy hitters towards the top. Like, all right, that's great selection of like really good shiny Pokemon. Then you just get past B into C and D tier, and there are so many terrible shiny Pokemon from Gen 1. These are objectively bad. Most of these, you could put them in front of the average Pokemon player and they wouldn't know it's shiny. Absolutely no shot. There it is. The entire Generation 1 shiny Pokemon tier list. Done. All 151 Pokemon rated. And there we go.